What's up? Joe here, Profit First Reseller. Thought we'd just have kind of a chill, relaxed listing session today. I got the board back up, the whiteboard. I'll just be keeping track of the value of the items I list to my store while we chat here. And I thought we'd go over some of these items, or sorry, not some of these items, some of these comments that I captured and took little screenshots of here from just recent comments from my recent videos. As I say at the end of every video, I will see you in the comment section, and that's just where so many amazing conversations have been happening. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely check out the comment section after this. There's probably going to be some good conversation going on. This is fun. So here we have two of those old school iPod shuffles, two slightly different versions. I don't know if they're both going to work on this dock. I actually have a third one I just stashed right here. So now I have three little iPod shuffles and one little dock to test them. But right now I'm not looking for long-term projects. I'm looking to get some items listed to my store. I know there's a lot of good, easy inventory in here. This is going to go up top. I do enjoy pulling up iTunes and trying to restore these old iPods. So I'll do that probably tonight for fun. But I'm going to save this as more of a treat for myself and get to some hard inventory here. And here, also out of that same bag, this is just stuff I've never seen before. This looks like two Samsung Galaxy watches, maybe slightly different sizes. So I'm going to keep a lookout for some chargers as we go. And if not, I'll be looking to buy some chargers just to have on hand. And we'll keep moving on here. I get some airflow going on. Get a little fan action over here. Hopefully that's not too annoying. It's a very quiet fan, but it helps me. I am a very easy sweater. I think just being in the Texas heat and humidity, you just learn just to start sweating. Just rehydrate if you need to. Anyway, we'll talk about some comments today. Just some of these amazing comments here. Hopefully you can see them over on this side of the screen as I'm listing some items. This first thing is a Wii U gamepad charging cable. This will be a fun, easy one. So I'll be going back and forth, I guess, in between these comments and also listing these items, and you'll be able to see it all happen on my phone. It'll be kind of fun to see. I'm just wrapping up this cable here. And while I do, this first comment I wanted to look at is from Adam Sam 6823. Said, as always, can't get bored from watching your full videos. Great input, valuable info. Quick question, please. Do you operate your business under LLC or EIN, sole proprietorship? Can you please make a video on your experience on what business banking account you run your eBay on? What type of credit card you use? Thanks a lot. So we are, I don't want to say it wrong. I had to ask my wife. I was like, Heather, do you want to answer this, or should you just explain like I'm 5 to me and I'll tell them, because I don't know. But I'm going to look at what I said in the comments. So excuse my scrolling here for a second. I think it's right around here. Yes, okay. Here we go. We are an LLC that files our taxes as an S Corp. And that is just because my wife and my accountant told me that that is the best thing to do as far as filing taxes the correct way, and I trust them, and so that's what we did. And I just fill out the forms when they ask me. We've had the same accountant for both of our businesses since we started our food cart, like well over 10 years ago now. So our accountant, Abby, is amazing. So let me tell you what else we have, because now I've pulled up this answer that my wife told me. So yes, we do have a regular business checking account. That's where all of our main stuff comes in, and that is where we pay all of our business credit cards out of. So that's our main inputs and outputs. So we have a regular business checking account and also a high yield savings account with an online bank called Live Oak Bank, because they actually offer a business high yield savings account. So we can just throw any excess money that we've made from our eBay business at the end of the month into that, if we think we might need it short term, just as a great way to earn some interest. And then eventually we also can, buy investments and that kind of stuff. For the business credit card, it's the Chase Inc. Business Preferred, not Premier. That's what my wife told me to tell you. just the Chase Inc. Business Preferred. I believe there is some extra bonus for credit card points with shipping or shipping supplies. So things like pirate ship, code in as a certain kind of expense, and I think they get higher rewards with this particular card. Chase Inc. Business Preferred. Again, I'm not an expert. There's a lot of much better credit card people out there, even on YouTube. I'm not the one. I trust my wife on that stuff. And anyway, that's what we have our pirate ship hooked up to. And anyway, I think that's it for that. Yeah, but you know, when you hear people like Not Your Dad's CPA, who seems to be an accountant who really knows what he's talking about and has done a lot of interviews on other eBay, YouTube reselling channels, he just says that like the number one thing to do is get a business checking account and use it and separate all of your expenses and make sure everything is in separate accounts. Don't mix up your accounts. It's gonna make it a lot harder for you at the end of the year. So that is something that I have listened to, and not just from him, but just also from my actual accountant for a long time. So yeah, it's an awesome comment, and I think really helpful. Let's see what they said. Chase credit card, thanks so much for anything. Okay, yeah. Oh, also, I do want to say this because I said this to Adam Sam 6823, and I want to say this to you on YouTube. Since I do occasionally talk about credit cards and credit card points, here's the deal. When we're talking about credit card points, we are talking about it's pennies. It is pennies over time, and of course that does add up. But here's what you need to compare, right? We are talking about 1%, 2%, maybe 3% rewards if you're lucky, 3% back, right? We are also talking about, at the same time with a credit card, if you don't make your payments, the interest rate is something like 25%, right? Which just dwarfs your 2 or 3% reward. If you ever have to pay a 25% penalty, that's going to dwarf so many rewards. So credit card hacking, or whatever you want to call it, or even just playing with credit cards, is a dangerous game. There's a reason that the credit card system is able to offer rewards like that, and it's because so many people don't or aren't able to pay their monthly bills on time, and so the interest racks up, and so credit card companies start to offer rewards to try to get more people trapped in the cycle of debt, right? And the point here, I believe, is not to carry debt, it's just to carry assets. And so just be careful. Be careful with credit cards as an advanced game. We are talking about making an extra 1 or 2 or 3% on the upside. So that's the upside. The downside is people ruin their life accumulating debt and racking up debt on their credit cards, right? It's just something to be aware of. You really need to trust yourself, and you need to have the cash to back up everything you buy, I think. But that's just my opinion. But I do talk about credit cards because I do trust myself and my wife. But when you look at the amount of debt that the average American has, this is not a joke. Like, this is serious. Debt is not something to mess around with. I don't think that debt should be taken lightly. And so you are temporarily going into debt every time you use a credit card, even if you have the money to pay it off. You need to have that trust with yourself that you're not going to spend that money on something else. You're going to pay it off immediately if you're trying to get those credit card points. So please be careful. Credit card points are a dangerous game, and the upside is just pennies. Like, maybe you'll make a few extra pennies, and it's cool. It's cool to make a few extra pennies if you can, but it's a dangerous game. You know, in a lot of business, what I like to look for, something Warren Buffett talks about, is a big upside with a very small downside. Like, in a way, that's kind of the dream investment, right? Something that has the potential to make you a lot of money, but even in the worst case scenario, it's not going to be too bad. You're not going to lose your shirt over it, right? Credit cards are kind of the opposite of that. You're scraping pennies at the risk of putting thousands of dollars on a credit card that some people statistically are not able to pay off, even if they think that they will be able to pay it off. Something to think about. All right, the next comment here I wanted to talk about is from Toy Mike. So this is Mike from the Tech and Sports Facebook group. And I talk about the Tech and Sports Facebook group a lot. And just to clarify for people that aren't exactly familiar, I sometimes explain it to my friends and family who have no idea what I'm talking about as something like a mastermind group. They've never call it that. I think that would probably, I think Tech, he's the one who started the group, is probably way too modest to call anything a mastermind group. But it is essentially a bunch of business owners and aspiring business owners getting together, talking about business, brainstorming, all that stuff. There's accountability groups. There are different calls each week, and that's one of my favorite parts, is these calls are recorded, and I can kind of treat them like podcasts personally, but also they are live calls that you can join in and ask questions and participate. And so Mike hosts the toy call there in the Tech and Sports Facebook group, and I've just loved interacting with him. And so what Mike said, great long comment, but worth spending some time on here. Mike said, great videos, lots of thoughts, questions, most surrounding processing and prep. I'm surely neurodivergent, squirrel brain, ADHD, whatever you want to call it. No interest at this time in meds. I enjoy the challenge of having a very active brain. With that said, I want to improve my speed and organization and systems surrounding item prep. I was massively excited to see someone doing the volume of sales you have while selling relatively difficult items to process, heavy cleaning, cord untangling items that require saving up, accumulation before selling in lots. In the toy category, I have much of the same. Plush items that need to be spot cleaned and run through the washing machine. Battery operated items that need testing and corrosion cleaned. Various toy lines that only sell best when accumulations of 5 to 10 or more build up. Deep research of items. All stuff that I relate to. I mean, yeah, again, in the video game, and I think the toy category, there are a lot of one-offs and rare items and deep research of items. My main question is, how have you become very effective in staying on task and getting all these various items processed in a quick manner without being overwhelmed? If you can speak on tips, tricks, time, devotion on the intake, processing side, I would be grateful. I'm doing well, and I have systems, but again, really excited to see someone with similar systems in regard to heavy processing, both on mental and physical side. It takes a lot of work to get my items over to the photo booth and then to begin listing, and sometimes my brain, let's see, my brain, I just want to make sure I didn't like dox myself or something right there. No, it just says the if. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm speak of squirrel brain. Oh my gosh, can I read one comment here? I'm sorry, now I've lost my place. It takes a lot of work to get my items over to the photo booth and then to begin listing, and sometimes my brain can be drained before I get there. Man, I can relate. Would love to see a video on how you keep this stuff moving quickly and get it processed and ready to photo to list. Love the videos. Keep up the good work, my friend. Wow. Can you just tell the passion in this guy? And just, I loved this comment so much. I just appreciate it so much. I'm happy I got a chance to read it, even though that was like incredibly long. I felt like I was in class and I was stumbling over my words trying to read. But I appreciate it, and I did comment back, but I'd rather just kind of tell you my own version, I guess, in audio format here, as I think processing cables, I think it'll be more efficient anyway. I'll be able to process cables while I talk. And basically, the one tip that kind of came to my head as I was reading Mike's comment, I think that's helped me a little bit, is something that Tim Ferriss talked about. And Tim Ferriss is an author. He wrote The 4-Hour Workweek. But something that I've recognized that I really relate to Tim Ferriss in is his self-identification as a freelancer. He is someone who sees himself as just working on projects and kind of just moving from one project to the next. And that is kind of how I see eBay. I think eBay might be, so far I've done it for 6 years. It might be a 20 or 30 or 40 year project. It might be one of the bigger and more awesome projects in my life. But it is kind of a project that I get to work on and kind of make it what I want to. So there are downsides to this, right? The upside is the freedom, obviously. But the downside is, when are you done? When should you actually stop working? When should you reward yourself? How do you know if you've done a good job? All these things are just, it's really important to set boundaries for yourself. And so the one easy boundary that Tim Ferriss talks about sometimes, when I as well, I think so many of us struggle with squirrel brain. I think the first time I ever heard that was from Daily Refinement, actually. Just the terminology, squirrel brain. For me, what helps is setting one or maybe two big goals to get done in the day. So that would be my advice, right? To think, what if I can get just one or two things, that would cause me to be completely satisfied if that's all I got done? Or what are the one or two things that I could do that would make everything else in my life so much easier? Those are probably the things to put on your list for tomorrow. And then what I do when I have my big, and I try to make them in these days kind of a big task, maybe a 6 or 7 or 8 hour task that I know I'm going to have to get up and get at it in order to be finished with it by the end of the day. What that does is it allows me time to make it fun. So that's one thing. It allows me time to queue up a bunch of podcasts and YouTube videos. While I'm doing that, when I'm queuing them up and I'm not listening to them now, but I'm thinking about myself doing it, I think that visualization is really powerful. I think in the same way that you hear, people who talk to athletes about getting in the right mindset before a big event, a lot of it is just visualization, visualizing yourself doing the motions, sometimes even visualizing yourself winning as if you've already done it so that you're not surprised when you might get there. I think visualizing yourself having a long, productive day the next day, and it's hard, but it's fun, and you did it, and because you already have snacks ready, you save a little hot chocolate packet for yourself to have in the middle of your workday, and you have a podcast or an audio book or whatever makes you feel cozy. I mean, we have so much freedom in this business, but it's easy to get caught up in all that stuff, and maybe your whole day is just caught up making yourself the perfect cup of tea and you didn't actually get anything done. So I think it's important to base it around one or two big tasks that if you got it done, if you got them done, those one or two things, you feel like your day was complete. Or at least those one or two things that make everything else seem a lot easier. Maybe kind of like the lead domino in a way. So I don't know if that's something that might help you on your journey there, but definitely worth checking out. So again, Tech and Sports, he's got a YouTube channel. He also has a Patreon. And if you sign up for the Patreon, you get access to the Facebook group and the calls and all that stuff. And I've just found it super worth it. It's so cool to feel like you're part of a community. And it is a community that is full of helpful people who are ready to offer you the expertise that they have. And it's fun. It's really cool to jump in there and see what's going on with everybody else. And then to get back to real life and get back to work. But that's what I love. Also, when you get back to real life, but if you're working alone and you want to have some background noise, this Tech and Sports group has so many calls. So Mike, he does the toy call. So every week he's hosting a call. Right now, I believe they're going through brands A through Z, and it's like an exhaustive list in audio form or video, but I like to put the stuff on either on my computer or in my headphones and just listen mostly, but sometimes I'll obviously glance if they're showing something on the screen as well. But I just love having the information, just listening to other people, other resellers out there doing it, and also you're always gathering information on items to pick up. So I found that incredibly helpful. Thank you, Toy Mike. I relate to Squirrel Brain. I relate to what you're talking about. I'm so glad you reached out. It makes my heart happy. I think this really was the main factor in wanting to start a YouTube channel with this extra little bit of time that I had this year. It's because I did want to kind of connect with other like-minded people, and I don't know, I feel like Mike's got a similar mind, like-minded. Something about that, I get it the way that he writes or something. I'm just like, yeah, that could be me. So thank you, thanks for reaching out. He's left some really nice comments over the last few weeks here. And anyway, okay, where are we at here? Next one I wanted to look at, Mr. Exquisite. I feel like Mr. Exquisite has been offering constructive comments since like the beginning of the channel, so thank you. said things get hard all the time. Getting through those hard times can be tough, but having that why, whatever that looks like for you, is something that everyone can use to get through. You don't always need goals if you have that why. You can set mini goals or steps to achieve it, but this is what I suggest everyone have. What is everyone's why? So I'd be curious if anyone wants to leave a comment down below what your why is. And I'll share that my why has and kind of has always been love for my family. And I think that only intensified when I had kids. But I've only just continued to expand the definition of who my family is. It's also my close friends. They might as well be family, right? And then it's my extended family and those that have really helped me and guided me all throughout my life. Aunts and uncles and cousins, like that is family just as much. And then I feel like my neighborhood and my city, like, I don't know, I kind of see that definition kind of expanding. I think that's why the hippie side of me starts coming out a little bit. But for me, it is love for my family. And right now, my primary driving force, as far as where I'm directing my effort, is in this eBay business, because I think that's the best chance of being able to make enough money for us to be able to retire and then focus on helping in other ways. Not having to worry about money or having to worry about our kids, having to worry about us once we reach that stage that we might not be able to help ourselves. So, well, I've listed nothing. Big old goose egg over here, but I have been wrapping a lot of cables. So there'll be some rapid fire listing here soon, because I'm almost at the bottom of the bin. But I just got very excited because I talked about never finding a stack of games. And I think I actually did find a stack of games one time, like months ago. This, I think, is full. This is incredible. I only have a couple more things in here, and then I'm going to open this. This is Nintendo branded. From my memory, I think there's Nintendo cartridges in here, and I think that they're good. Oh, I can't wait. That is so rare that I find video games. That is such good inventory. Somehow my lid for making broccoli sprouts got in there. I don't know how that happened. This is a watch. I'm not sure what the Japan movement, water resistant. I don't know this brand. It's a 5 inside of a pentagon or something. So I'm gonna have to look up. It seems of decent quality. The links do seem to move nicely and have a nice shine to them. So it seems decent quality. So I will look that up at some point. Maybe, should I Google it right now? Let's try. No, I don't want to ask AI. No. Search picture. Seiko 5. But it doesn't say Seiko. Does that mean it's fake? These all say Seiko 5. And this one just says 5 minus the Seiko. It just says Japan. I kind of think like it's a fake Seiko. That would be my guess. So that will probably get donated. If there is even an inkling that the item might be fake, I trust that instinct and I do not list it. Even a hint of the tiniest bit of doubt. All right, so I'm gonna get into my eBay here. And let's start listing some stuff, huh? Let's go into active listings. Started getting excited because I saw this. I'm almost certain this is sold out. This is the dual antenna version of the Xbox 360 wireless Wi-Fi adapter. So for that first generation of consoles, those white ones and the occasional black Elite one, they don't have any Wi-Fi built in. You need these to do Wi-Fi. So for this, I can search dual. It should come right up. That goes into X7, and it's just $18.99. It's in excellent condition. Oh, amazing. So this goes over here into X7. I'm going to update that quantity from 0 to 1, effectively becoming a new listing on my store. And I get to get on the board. 19. All right. $19 plus shipping. This one I know also sells quick. This is the power supply for the PS4 VR console. And it was also sold out in my store. So I just need to put this, oh my gosh. I just headbutted the camera. Thankfully my microphone's down here so you can see it but not hear it, which is funnier, I think. Okay. So, I wonder if I should wipe that lens. My wife got me this. It is a lens cleaning cloth that looks like a giant CVS pharmacy receipt, but it's actually made of microfiber. It's hilarious. She's the best. Okay, so this is going to go into the bin behind me, which I just had to glance to remind myself is F6. So what I need to do is update the quantity from 0 to 1, change the SKU to become F6. I'm gonna turn on my fan. I'm getting hot. Starting to work over here. Get some items on the board. Okay. So I threw that in already. So that is $8 more. So it puts us at 27. All right, so this I will end up bundling once I get 4 of them. This is the little grip attachment for Switch Joy-Cons. This thing's getting quite full. I could probably make at least 1 or 2 more lots, but this is where I just keep random Nintendo accessories that I sell in lots, like the Wii Fit feet, the Switch grips, the little battery covers for Wii Fit boards, the little covers, the little slide-on things for Joy-Cons. I don't even know what these things are called. Those little rails. No idea. So this is the back for a Switch dock, but not a front. So that's going to go into my Nintendo supplies bin. Okay, so let's see, what else do I have? I got 2, actually. I ended up finding 2 of these Wii U gamepad power supplies. So I'll do that next. Just gotta look up, excuse me, the model number. I'm not identifying as sick, but I do, well, you know, all of my kids happen to be sick. I happen to have a little bit of a scratchy throat, but I'm not identifying as a sick person today. I'm healthy. There's just some weird stuff going on with my throat. Let's see. So the 20 most recent sales, somebody's getting $19.99, and it doesn't even say free shipping on these sold comms. So for once, this sandwich helped me. I'm going to try to raise this price up. Why not? I've been selling this for $13.99, but at this point, this item's got a ton of sold comps. Let's go $18.99. Worst that could happen, it just doesn't sell and I'll just lower the price. But I think when I see sold comps, I think that's legit. I'm doing it. That's 2 more items right here listed. Like really just like brand new condition, just amazing. Yeah, not even any cleaning necessary. So these are going into F6. 2 quantity for $18.99 each. That's $38. 38 plus 27 is 45, 55, 65, 65. Okay. We are on the board. This, after a little bit of cleaning, should be great. This is the first generation camera sensor for PS4. The second generation one is rounded. This one's kind of squared off. So I believe this is the ZEY1. That's right. It's the last 4 digits after the dash. So I should be able to just search that. What do you know? And what do you know? The SKU happens to be the right one randomly. Out of all of my bins, love when that happens. Already F6. All I have to do is change the inventory from 0 to 1. And that is a $20 item, puts us at 85. Boom. Okay. Next up, from this bin, before we get to these NES cartridges, gotta save the dessert for last. I need to get 3 of the other halves of these because I sell these complete with the other half of the power supply. These are 3 of those Sony power supplies for the PS2. The PS2 Slim specifically. So let me get 3 of these little power supplies. This is just the little AC power cables that I get. I just buy these in bulk. Take them out of the packaging, but they're already wrapped up with the twist tie, which I love. So I just need to match one of these that has a little 2-prong dealie and a little figure 8 on one side with each of these, which are the Sony power supplies. So I need 2 more of these little Ziploc bags. And then we'll get these things into the store. So, not bad. It's kind of fun to just wrap everything first and then list everything. It's like a new way of batching. I always find that batching tends to work well. Not always, but usually. In this case, often when I'm going through these bins, I just kind of go one item at a time and list it. Kind of doing that first processing step of at least wrapping all the cables, separating everything. Worked out pretty well. All right, so we got 3 of these PS2 power supplies. They're in their baggies, and I just need to look up the model number, 70100. Already 5 listed, so I'll just be adding to that SKU. And with 5 listed, okay, this is a kind of a pro tip. If you can see here, hopefully on the screen over here, you see how category and condition and this additional description have that lock on them? That means there's active offers out, which to me is at least an indicator that there is some interest for this item. If I see that I already have 5 in stock and I'm listing 3 more, what I was gonna do is consider lowering the price a little bit. But if I already have offers on this item, I'm gonna let it ride as it is. Because if I were to try to change the price or end and sell similar, that is gonna mess up that offer. So I am gonna grab some tape and a Sharpie to be able to label these guys. So what I'm gonna do is take my Sharpie and just label B10 on the outside of each of these Ziplocs. And that's gonna go into my go backs pile, so B10. And I'll just throw that into my B10 bin down in the garage. So that is 3 items. That's my new go backs pile right there. So I'm gonna update it from 5 to 8 and increase my listed value by 36. Which puts us at 91, 101, 111, 121. Okay. We've got 2 of these Wii U console power supplies. Love to see it. This one needs a little bit of cleaning, but doesn't appear to have any water damage or anything, which is good. So just a little bit of a scrub with a magic eraser. I just search, I think the actual technical name for these magical erasers is melamine sponge. Melamine with an L. Oh, sorry, with an M. An L. It is with both, actually. MELAMINE. Melamine. Anyway, I look for the ones that have reviews or claim to be very dense, very durable. You don't want the ones that just fall apart right away. You can rinse and reuse these things. They're awesome, but you are essentially creating microplastics. You're just grinding down plastic, and it's just better if you can find one that lasts longer, I think. So anyway, got 2 of these Wii U console power supplies. Model numbers WUP and then 002. Following that standard convention for Nintendo where 002 is going to be indicating the console power supply for whatever generation it is, and 001 is the console itself. So these are both going to get listed right into this bin. That's spots here just for convenience. So I'm going to change the SKU to F6. I already updated the inventory to 2. So that's 2 times 7 is 14. So that puts us at 135. That works. All right, Traptanium portal for Xbox 360. For these portals, there are so many model numbers that I make sure to type in the full model number every single time to make sure that it's getting matched to the right person. So here we go. Yes, again, sold out on my store. Love to see it. Seems like I was getting a lot of these items during a similar time last time because they all used to be listed into B10 and now I happen to be listing them into F6 for some reason. But I do just get a lot of repeatable inventory. That's really, I think, what it comes down to. So that goes back up to a 1 inventory now in F6 and this becomes $10 higher, so 145. Cool. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. This needs some cleaning for sure. You can feel both the buttons underneath. It's essentially just buttons underneath. These 2 bongos are in good condition, but this little bit of like fake leather or whatever it is does get a little bit dirty. So I just found microfiber cloth, rubbing alcohol. It's gentle enough that it's not going to mess anything up or make you feel weird when you inhale a little bit of it, but I find that it is a powerful enough solvent to clean up a lot of surfaces. Better, at least. I believe I have a listing for this. So I'll look up here. Not D-O, D-K, please. No, not D-O, D-K. Yes, 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 DK. All right, cool. So I'm just gonna bring up that inventory by 1, and I will pack this up in a box later. So what I'm gonna do right now is add a little bit of blue tape to a flat surface and just add this SKU here, 5123. I know that's unique. This will only apply to this exact kind of bongos. So I am able to kind of like reuse that particular SKU because I know it only applies to this. And then I'll be able to raise the inventory by 1. So this will get packed up in a box later on when I'm doing like a mass packing session at the end of the day. So I kind of have made 2 piles now, one of go backs, stuff that needs to go downstairs and will only get packed on demand when I sell it. And then that one's got a 4-digit SKU and that one's going to get packed in a box in that 4-digit SKU, 5123 in this case, as you can see on the screen. Over here, this is going to get packed up and then brought downstairs, ready to go. So all we need to do is put a label on this one when it sells. So this will actually be even easier. So I think we're good. 5123. I think I'm kind of compulsively checking here for some reason. That's $22, which puts me at 167. Goodbye, long 5. 167. All right, yeah, we're making some progress. This is the end of the day. It's 4:37, so you try to be done by 5, so I won't go forever, but I think I've got a few more things, and then we get to do the NES cartridges, so that's going to be fun. This is the Guitar Hero variant of a little Logitech microphone that gets rebranded for everybody. Guitar Hero microphone. Let's see, not Guitar Hero Live, not the Rock Band. That one has the Rock Band. Guitar Hero. Yes, this is the one. So I already have a bunch listed. I know that will sell eventually at that price. So I'm just going to add one more to the inventory. So this one's in B10. So it's got a little B10 label, and then that will go in my go backs pile. I'm going to update the quantity by 1. It's from 6 to 7. And I have to update my listed for today up to 177. So this is something that I do, it's a good exercise for me. It's something that I'm always doing math in my head of like how much have I listed. This is like way off center. I wanted it to kind of be like that. Sorry about that. But you know, this dollar amount needs to be 1,000 a day. If you want to sell 1,000 a day, you're certainly going to have to be listing 1,000 a day at least. So just something to be aware of. of, you know, where your efficiencies are at. This is not the most efficient thing that I do. I think more efficient when I'm just tackling a single kind of thing, you know, a certain kind of console or a certain kind of controller, and all I do all day is that. But this is fun. This is the fun stuff I do at the end of the day, and it's made a fun excuse for me to also turn on the camera and chat. So this is the Wii DJ Hero turntable, and it spins wonderfully. All the knobs are here. There's no battery terminals to check on this one. So I just need to search Wii DJ on this one. And this will probably be another one that I will pack up later on at the end of the day. And that one matches this one right here on the very top. Wii DJ, all this stuff. Yes, tested working. Just needs to be listed. But this one, oh, it looks great. I just checked the Nintendo cartridges. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, inventory from 0 to 1. Can I add this SKU? 5315, and I'll get boxed up with that. Okay, so 20 bucks puts me at 197. Okay, I'm almost done. One more, Rock Band microphone. This one, there's two different models. The one with like the very slim line, little dongle built into the cable, and then this one has the much larger one. So I'm gonna search by the model number here of A-0234A. Let's see what I get. There you go. That's the one I want. Rock Band. Yes. Good. Now is listed to C3. Raise that quantity to 4. Boom. Easy money. C3. Done. My camera's crooked, so I have to kind of adjust it on the fly here. I did really want to, yeah, just have this on the edge of the screen. Whoo, amateur over here. As I've said before, you know, at this point, you know, I'm comfortable calling myself a professional eBayer, but not a professional YouTuber by any means. I'm just getting the raw documentation here. Oh man, working up a sweat, earning all this money. Okay, so I've got these Samsung Galaxy watches. I didn't find the charger for those. Thought I'd go on my fun projects for later pile, and now we get to this like faux gator skin. Oh my god, I see 2 Zelda cartridges. 1 golden, 1 regular. Deja Vu, never seen that before. Gonna have to look that up. With the manual in the protector. So let's just go through these real quick. We got Deja Vu. We got Legend of Zelda. Oh, I gotta be careful with this. With the instruction booklet. The second instruction booklet. Legend of Zelda, the gray cartridge. Okay, this is the 3 screw. I have no idea what's the good one on that. I have to look that up. This one, the golden cartridge with another manual. Incredible. Legend of Zelda, had so much fun playing that. Fun fact, if you name yourself Zelda in The Legend of Zelda, the original, it actually gives you a secondary world that's like meant to be a hard mode, kind of like a secret mode that you unlock if you actually name yourself Zelda, and it's much harder, turns out. Well, guess who named themselves Zelda first time they ever played Legend of Zelda? This guy. Super Mario Brothers 3. I've always wondered why I thought that game was so hard until I realized that later on. Adventure Island 2. That looks good. Hudson Soft. I wonder if that's rare. That looks really good. Okay, I just want to go through these real quick. Platoon. We got Dr. Mario. It's the only one not in a case so far. Tetris 2. Wow, this is incredible. I never see video games like this. I'm just soaking this in. Top Gun, Second Mission. And Jeopardy Junior Edition. So that is all the games here. We've got this with the plastic divider still intact. I think this is probably gotta be worth something as well. This Nintendo cartridge holder with the shiny gold hardware, little gold Nintendo emblem right here. This is so fun. Okay, so I think I'll start off with, I don't know, Zelda. Oh, this is the maps. I think this is the maps. It says maps and strategies. I don't want to tear it anymore, but yeah, there's maps in here. Wow, wow, wow. But it is partly torn. I don't want to tear it any further. It's hard to know what's a tear and what is meant to be opened at this point. Oh, it's even been lovingly taped before by someone. That's so cool. Oh, and we have some notes on the map for Zelda here. We have some notes under how to make an adventure map. You may need, it says north, west, south, west. Okay, must be some note they're making to themselves. Here's the complete guide to level 1 and 2 labyrinths. Wow, this is so cool. And then here's the big old map. That's so fun. Okay, I feel like a little bit of history here. So we're just gonna start. This is not gonna be my act. This is not something that I get often at all. I don't get games very often. So I'm gonna look up Zelda NES cartridge gold. I got the gold and the regular. I guess I'll do the gold first. Looking at solds, of course. With sleeve, $30 free shipping. And manual, $35. Oh, that's Zelda 2, never mind. Your cartridge and manual. See what I got here in solds. It says instruction booklet. Maybe I should say that. It's taking longer than I thought. Okay, I'm going to say booklet. And I'm going to say instruction. Oh, the timer's going off. I've spent more than a minute researching this thing. I got to get this thing. I got to find a sold cop and get this thing up on the store here. I'm going to borrow from this, I guess. And I'm just going to modify the title. Okay, so I'm going to do The Legend of Zelda NES 1987 gold cartridge, sleeve, cartridge, sleeve, instruction booklet. Just including everything it is. I don't always like to use commas like that, but I think in this case it actually does increase the readability a little bit. And so I've got the cartridge. It's just pristine. Just incredible. I got the sleeve and I've got the manual. So I'm going to go take a picture of that. I think I can get $35 for it. I'm going to do my lowest shipping option, which is $6.99. And then we'll go $34.99. Allow offers, yes. Okay, perfect. All right, AI description, it is. And get this thing listed. So I always like to have my first picture should be able to show everything that you receive just in a single picture here. So that is my general rule, just as not to overthink it. Here we go. Super shiny. This is in awesome condition. Look at that. Wow. Okay. I'll take a couple more pictures of this manual. On the other side of the sleeve, just to be thorough. Okay, now everything goes back in here. And that goes here in my video games, and that is incredible. That will hopefully sell quick. I'll take offers on that and get that out of here. And I might even sell as is. I really think that's so, I mean, condition matters with video games, and that's just such great condition. That's another $35, which puts us at $232. $232. Okay. So now I'm going to do a search for Legend of Zelda cartridge, instruction, and map. See if we got any of those. Yeah, it seems like, let's say gray. Let's see what I see over here. I just want to get an idea. Is the gray cartridge selling for the same price, for more, for less here? Seems like a little bit less. But I want to see one that has the manual included. See, manual and map, $41.50. See, yeah, and this one is the genuine case as well, like the Nintendo branded little sleeve. So I think what I'm going to do... Oh my gosh, look at this on Actives. My wife is literally listing items downstairs right now. As I can see on the top of my Actives, there's fresh items. Oh, she's a beast. That's so cool. Okay. I'm just going to sell similar off of this, but instead of gold, I will say gray. And then that'll be that. And then I can also do map. And that literally works out perfectly. I just need to regenerate this. Boom. Okay. I'm going to go 40 on this one since it includes the map. Oh, sometimes it does that. It like regenerates the page and makes me type it in again. Like makes me lose focus on that little input screen, but no worries. So I'm going to make sure I include that writing in pen on that map here very clearly. Oh, I need to be careful with this map. It's so amazing, but it's so big. The map really is so cool. Okay, some good pictures of the map as well. Get all this stuff back in here, and then I'll get it right here in my video game section. So I just list all my video games right here into this bin that is just all of my video games for sale, and they sell so quick. When I do get video games, as anyone who's sold video games knows, if you have video games, they will sell. So here we go. That's $40. Did I already do? Yeah, great cartridge. Boom. Okay, boom, $40. That's $272 listed. Okay. I got Mario Bros. 3. Have I ever even sold Mario 3? I don't think so. No. Wow. Mario 3 NES. What do we got? 22, 1999, 15 plus shipping, 13.50 plus shipping. There we go. Seems like a quality seller. I'm gonna undercut by $1 or $2. My shipping is more expensive, but I think I can ask $17.99. That should still be competitive. Okay, perfect. Mario Bros. 3. I tend to pick good condition. These collectors are expensive. I'd much rather than get a cartridge that is better than they expect. This looks better than good. And that's going to be another $18 on the board. Once I get this thing listed, let's do it. It really does appear to be in excellent condition. I always visually inspect the pins, the front, the back, and then you just kind of go with your spidey sense, and I am willing to bet my business's money that this is a working cartridge and will lead to a very happy customer. And of course, we accept free returns in any case, and those rare exceptions that one of these doesn't work for whatever reason, but seems like it's working out all right so far. This puts us 272 plus 18, puts us exactly at 290. All right. Deja Vu. Deja Vu NES cartridge. What is this? Let's see. I've never seen this. Deja Vu NES. Seems like it's worth a few bucks. Maybe. Yeah. I got the manual and the sleeve, so that's cool. It's not complete by any means, so I'll remove that. The manual and sleeve. It says instructions manual, and I have room, so I'm going to include instructions in the title as well. I've already forgotten how much this is worth. I'm going to do $15 plus shipping. I think that's fair based on the sold comps I've seen there. So that goes over here. And arrange everything. Got a picture of the booklet here. Deja Vu. Oh, I might have taken a picture of the back of the booklet here. Oops. Oh well, I got a picture of both sides. Okay, oh, I have to put the cartridge in upside down. That actually does matter. All right, cool. So that's going to be $15.99. And I don't need a SKU because I just literally put all my video games in the same bin. And they'll have a title usually right there on the top, so it makes it easy to find them. So that's going to be another 15 bucks listed. Puts us at 305. That is not the best looking handwriting I've ever done. And I'm looking at my clock, and I think we've hit 5 o'clock. So I have so many more good comments that I want to go over. I think I'm going to have to save them for next time. This was so fun. This is probably just an easy listing sesh. We'll be doing lots more of these. We got 300 bucks listed. We got to chat, got to talk about some comments. Thank you. Thank you to everybody watching. And wow, this has been fun. This has been so fun. Cannot wait to see you again. And until then, I'll see you in the comments. Peace.